been chilling, watching the ocean with you.
Hey guys, it's your girl Tiffany and welcome back to my channel. If you are enjoying my BTS contents, please remember to like, subscribe, join the family, hit that notification bell because that lets you know when I've uploaded a new video. Also leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what I should watch in order to get a better understanding of the boys. So as I previously said, I am a casual listener of BTS. What I'm doing now is diving into getting to know them better. I have so far done Life Goes On, which I felt was such a great guide. It really was a guide to BTS. You got to I know little hints of things about them. Such as I always knew RM was the first. And I also knew that the rap line was the first. And I also knew it was a hip hop group first. But then it gradually changed. You got to see how all the members came together, etc. I got an understanding of their music. So as you guys may or may not know, my journey with BTS starts from basically the Love Yourself albums. All three of them come down. Anything previously, not so much, for the exception of Blood, Sweat and Tears. And I know little trickles of songs which I kind of just found on Apple Music. So I was like, if you know Apple Music, kind of depending on your music taste, it can recommend songs. So I know other BTS songs, so like I Need You. Didn't know they have a music video. We'll definitely have to check that out. I know Dope and Pan Man, things like that. So yeah, I'm a very, very casual listener of BTS. Just diving into getting to know them. So with going back with xCeleste, I knew that she had a video called Hardships that I was supposed to check out a while back, but I forgot. But then on my recommendations, I saw that she's done a updated version of her Hardships. I think the one I saw was up to 2019. I can see that this one is up to this year. So I think it will be best if I go through this one then because it seems like she's saying it's 2020, 2021. So I think this will be the most up-to-date hardship video that she has. So I enjoy xCeleste videos. My first ever BTS video was an xCeleste. I really hope I'm saying her name right. And that was introduction to BTS, and I also did her video of introduction to ARMY. Both were very well done videos. So, because I got an understanding of BTS a little more, and I got an understanding of what the ARMY is. So, I know some hardships of them. I know they mostly face, I would say, xenophobic comments from the music industry. So, I know there are people that kind of upset that Asian boy band is practically doing better and breaking records than the traditional white boy bands have done. So I know that's one of the hardships they face. I also know they come from a small company, so they had to fight their way to where they are. So their journey has not been, they literally, as I said in the first introduction to BTS, their journey is really Drake's song started from the bottom, now ahead. If that's not fits them perfectly. So hopefully I get an even more better understanding of them, and let's see what xCeleste has to show to us. So this one is called BTS Hardships 2013 to 2021, racism, mistreatment, accusation, plus more, struggles throughout the year. So I am looking forward to this. and I'm excited to see what she has put out for us.
This video was not made in order to relive the sadness or to hold grudges against others. This video was made to remind us that BTS didn't rise to success without facing hurdles, and these events have created a stronger bond between BTS and ARMY. June 13, 2013. BTS were only able to debut because the scheduled performers cancelled. BTS was a filler. Even after debuting, they couldn't get much airtime. Their performances were either shortened, cut from broadcasts, or not uploaded for online consumption, due to their company's lack of clout at that time.
저 당시에는 예, 우리가 막 방송을 마음대로 못 깔 때예요. 그치. 방송을 막 사람 다 차 있으면 우리 못 나가고 그럴 때도 있었어.
저 때 한밤에 이게 나가게 된 게 되게 약간 우리가 막 그랬었어. 그때 그랬어요.
되게 중요한 거고
신기한 거고 되게 약간 원래 그렇게 따로 인터뷰 잘 안 해주시는데 막 그때 그런 기억이 나요.
저희를 구원해 주신 거죠?
From sleeping in one bedroom to using their own staff as extras, to recording an album in a garage. These were just a few things BTS experienced early on in their careers due to their company's limited budget.
말 걸어주신 거 이렇게 옷에 쓰여 있는 거 무슨 뭐냐고 돈 없어가지고 16,000원짜리 후배티에 프린팅 해가지고 뭔지 몰라가지고 말을 이렇게 해야 되겠었는데 아무튼
Because some of the members came from an underground rap background, but ultimately chose the path of becoming idols, they were often disrespected.
사실 남준이가 언더에서 활동을 했다고 이제 그런 사람들이 많아요. 아이돌로 올라가서 나는 언더그라운드 활동을 했던 사람이다 하고 언플이라고 흔히 하잖아요. 그러면은 이제 언더 매니아, 힙합 매니아라고 하는 사람들은 그런 거를 당연히 안 좋게 보죠.
아, 지네 음악도 안 하고 그냥 회사에서 시키는데도 노래 받아서 춤이나 추는 것들이 무슨 가수냐, 니네가 무슨 아티스트냐, 저런 애를 더 이상 나오면 안 된다.
A rapper told RM and Suga that they were on the right path, but strayed away and were no longer considered real rap hip-hop artists.
I just want to say this. This is a known issue, not in just, this is a known issue in worldwide hip-hop. So what happens is a lot of people think that once someone leaves the underground rap scene, they are no longer themselves. They have turned their backs on the artistry. Here's the thing. Sometimes that is the case. Sometimes that is true that once an underground rapper leaves the industry, they do technically sometimes turn mainstream and just forget about their roots. They'll just, so like in underground, they will talk about stuff that affects society and those things, and they then go mainstream and just talk about nonsense. I get that. But there's a lot of rappers, underground rappers, a lot of them is sometimes a jealousy that they're talking about. The fact that this person somehow translated well into mainstream. A lot of times it is jealousy that people are talking about. And it's sad because at the end of the day, you want your music to touch a lot of people as a musician. So do you not think if you're mainstream and you keep your same message, it's going to touch more people once you're mainstream? Because to me, if you look at BTS lyricism, if you look at even RM when he does his mixtape, even Suga, all of them, you can't say that the lyricism is not the same. Now, I don't know what RM sounded like in underground hip-hop, but I have a feeling it's still the same lyricism. Of course, his lyricism will grow as he age, as he get a better understanding of the world. But sometimes it's jealousy that people are talking about. It comes from a place of jealousy, is what I'm trying to say.
deeming them girls for wearing makeup.
방탄소년단에 대해서 사실 뭐
Really?
다 팀워도 말하고 아이돌 그룹이다. 네, 맞습니다. 뭐 힙합이 아니다. 방탄소년단이 무대에 올라갔을 때 뭐 이제 분장을 한다. 어떤 메이크업을
It's stage
하는
makeup.
어떤 힙합과
People, it's stage makeup. What the boys wear is stage makeup. And even if they just wore makeup every day, so what? Two, I assure you, your favorite rappers, when it's time to take pictures for their album cover, when it's time to do interviews because of the harsh lighting, they have to wear makeup. They have to. The only difference is maybe BTS makeup is more dramatic than others, but it's still makeup at the end of the day. Just saying.
충돌되는 부분이 있을 것 같은데.
그런 게 아니라 여자.
What? Oh, shut the front door.
BTS were being told by several people they would never make it because they came from a small agency. Big Hit Entertainment was at one point near bankruptcy and didn't have the financial power to promote and push BTS the way other companies could with their own groups. In 2014, Suga shared his story about battling depression since pre-debut days. Suga continues to discuss and bring awareness to mental health through his work. Until now, BTS has continuously been transparent about their darkest thoughts and feelings, not just through their music, but also their very public personas. February 2014. BTS were accused of copying the schoolboy concept for Boy in
Yeah, I
Love,
discussed this.
which
This was
came
just
out
idiotic.
shortly after another group released their music video, even though the concept is a popular choice amongst young boy bands.
Exactly.
April 2014. During a variety show, the host confronted them about this plagiarism accusation.
수와 겹친 교복 패션 왜 하필일까? 원망했나요?
사실 저희가 말씀드릴 수
예, 얘기 천천히
저희가 이번 사랑 이야기 학교 3부작의 마지막이었어요.
예.
그래가지고 나 언제 한번 교복을 입겠다라고 생각을 했는데 그게 되게 유명하게 시기가 겹쳐가지고.
Throughout their careers, they've been constantly criticized for plagiarism, often for outfits, props, concepts, and hair colors that are ordinary not just in K-pop, but the expansive world of visual arts. November 2014. Hashtag kick out J-Hope BTS.
Did that say yes, I hate Asians who can't sing? The hell? Look, you know what? People got too much time. The internet has created a space for idiots to strive on.
Trended on Twitter, calling J-Hope ugly and untalented. The trend became popular enough that their friend and supervisor from their reality show American Hustle Life, Tony Jones, tweeted out saying, "Every member is needed and talented." Jin stepped in by telling ARMYs to cheer up and that all of them were working hard. ARMYs got together and trended hashtag J-Hope you're perfect to comfort him. May 2015. BTS finally won their first music show with their song I Need You 2 years after their debut, but were accused of 사재기. This is when companies buy back albums to boost external sales records. This was when their company was barely surviving financially, making the claims groundless. May 2015. V was accused of mocking another idol group after they won a music show and were accepting the trophy. People began to send him death threats. However, he wasn't mocking them at all. V was known to be a fan of this group and was singing their song out of excitement. He apologized on Twitter for the misunderstanding and provided screenshots showing that he would always listen to this song before bed. July 2015. BTS abruptly halted their concert, The Red Bullet, in New York due to death threats towards RM.
What?
All related fan activities were also subsequently cancelled. Attendees of the show were forced to leave the venue, where there was a strong presence of security and police at the scene.
Sorry. We love you.
RM also received another death threat for another upcoming show in Mexico later that month. July 2016, people began to debate over alleged misogynistic lyrics and tweets from BTS. This led to the members and the company reflecting back on their actions. BTS's agency, Big Hit Entertainment, responded with an apology and a promise to do better. Consequently, the band grew from this lesson and have since released feminist overtures such as 21st Century Girl, and in 2019 responded to their 2014 single Boy in Love with Boy with Love, a collaboration with Halsey. RM has said that since the incident, he pays closer attention to the lyrics he writes, reading newspapers and books to study the social phenomena. After he finishes writing lyrics, he consults experts of women's studies to objectively examine the lyrics. May 2000.
I've heard about this, and I think this is war of hormones. I don't know. I know it's war of hormones was the issue. I actually listen to war of hormones. It's on my phone, and I don't think what the boy's saying was misogynistic at all. Maybe someone took it that way, but I kind of feel that the fact that he's doing all of this, going to independent studies or independent people to review his lyrics, kind of suppresses artistic freedom, in my humble opinion. And I feel like they would have found an issue with any of their songs, because look, if you could find an issue with them having the same hair color, you're gonna find an issue with anything they do lyric wise. I'm sure they still got people thinking some of their lyricism is still something they don't like, but I just wanted to say my piece on that.
2016. During their epilogue concert, antis began to use the hashtag #PlagiarismBoyScouts. Multiple fandoms teamed up to trend this hashtag in Korea. BTS saw this, and the media latched on. June 2016. During the variety show Flower Crew, Jungkook arrived at the filming location with a bag of hamburgers for his cast members, hoping to break the ice. One of the cast members made rude comments and turned Jungkook's offer away.
What?
왜안 받는 거예요? 거짓말하고 느낌이 딱 먹다 남긴 느낌인데. 아니 새 거예요. 진짜 새 거예요. 야.
BTS has since filmed another variety show with the same host, and spirits seem high. September 2016. Antis made yet another project called Break Wings Project to try to sabotage their comeback in October. The project was caught and stopped once comments on YouTube broadcasting the project were put on blast. Wings then went on to sell 16,000 units in its first week, appearing at number 26 on the US Billboard 200 chart, setting the then highest record for a K-pop album and making BTS the first and only K-pop act at that time to log 3 entries on the Billboard 200. Because of this, antis took strategic pictures of non-armies and claimed that there was no line in stores that sold physical albums. October 2016. During the Busan One Asia Festival, fans were told a couple hours before the broadcast that BTS were no longer appearing because one member was absent from an injury, even though a countless number of fans were already present at the event venue and BTS was ready and willing to perform. BTS ended up performing for the fans who attended the event and waited all day, but it was at the end of the event with leftover confetti, no proper lighting, and no cameras rolling.
Wow.
Their performance was not broadcasted and only fan cams were taken. October 2016. During BTS's Blood, Sweat and Tears promotion in South Korea, BTS wasn't given a waiting room at the broadcast center. So the members made do and practiced, got dressed, and did makeup in front of the bathrooms. They would practice non-stop without resting, greeting other staffers who were going to the bathroom, and other idol groups would openly look down on them. This comment was left under a video uploaded by Wei, a member from Crayon Pop. Wei responded, "Yes, that's right. All I remember is their hard work and efforts. I especially haven't forgotten RM's voice practicing Japanese." November 2016. V made a heartfelt announcement during their muster that his beloved grandmother had passed away. Auntie saw this as an opportunity to twist his narrative and intentions, sending him death threats and accusing him of using her passing as a ploy for attention. November 2016.
People are too
Big
much.
Hit released a formal statement about taking legal actions regarding malicious rumors, false statements, and personal attacks against BTS. The company continues to pursue legal actions against perpetrators to this day, enforcing a strict no settlement and leniency policy. November 2016. Fans of another group were upset that BTS won Album of the Year at the Melon Music Awards, claiming it was done out of charity and that miscalculations were made. They called Melon customer care, where an employee explained that the company's internal data proved that BTS scored higher.
Group
Audio
one,
of
you
the
wanna say that.
conversation was released.
그거 이제 그 상에 해당하는 앨범들을 해가지고 계산한 게 있는데 그러면은 저희가 보는 거랑 뭐 멜론 내부에서 보는 거랑 그러면은 데이터가 아예 다르다는 소린가요?
아니요, 똑같으시고요. 고객께서 보셨던 거는 차트랑 그리고 스트리밍 그 실시간 앨범 자체가 나오고 나서 순간 차트에 대한 그런 데이터를 아십니까?
그건 아닌 것 같아요.
고객께서 보신 전체 데이터 수치는 아마 보시기 어려우실 거예요. 그 데이터는 로엔에만 갖고 있고요. 고객께서 봤던 정리를 어떤 식으로 진행하셔가지고 어떤 식으로 보신지 모르겠는데.
No, you really arguing with people on how they score, who gets Album of the Year, as though you work there yourself. No, I understand if they work there themselves. Y'all got too much power. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna need fans to stay fans. Y'all not managers. Y'all are not owners. Stay fans.
고객님께서 정리해서 보신 거는 그 차트 반영에 관한 내용들이고요. 그 부분이 아니라 1년 동안 고객님들께서 스트리밍 돌리시고 앨범을 산 그 이용권 말고 많은 대중들이
I'm mad that he's actually explaining this to them. He should have just hanged up.
전체 음원 합산 점수예요. 내부적으로 고객께서 지금 생각하신 게 혹시 내부적 이게 비리가 있는 건 아니냐라고 생각이 들 수 있는데요. 뭐 제가 말씀드릴 수 있는 부분은 비리 전혀 없으시고요. 방탄이 1년 동안 보다 스트리밍 수가 많이
Oh, he should bleep it. I wish they would have said who it was.
February 2017. BTS were accused of plagiarism after their performance at the Gaon Chart Music Awards. The part in question was when the no-signal bars on screen resembled another group's past stage. To make matters worse, the creative director of the group in question created a post on Instagram with the captions, our hard work. And siblings of the group liked that post. Gaon Charts eventually posted an official statement in regards to the accusation, admitting that their own production team was in charge of the graphics, not Big Hit. BTS has not attended or performed at Gaon Chart Music Awards since. Only pre-taping acceptance speeches. March 2017. Death threats were made against BTS, with their target being Jimin this time. This threat happened during their world tour, and Big Hit addressed this threat, increasing security around the venues. December 2017. Fans of a different group were so outraged by the results at the 2017 Mnet Asian Music Awards that they filed a petition under the Blue House, the executive office and official residence of the South Korean head of state. They requested MAMA to be abolished because BTS won, crashing the Blue House petition website, which was meant for the South Korean citizens only, with traffic from overseas. May 2018, Jimin once again received death threats, this time during their Love Yourself tour in Fort Worth. police tweeted soon afterwards that they were investigating the threat. November 2018. On November 7, a South Korean court ordered a Japanese company to compensate them for wartime labor during Japan's colonial rule of the Korean peninsula. The next day, Japan's TV's Asahi's music station announced that they have cancelled BTS's appearance on their show, slated for November 9th, due to a recently resurfaced screenshot of a member wearing a t-shirt depicting a photo of an atomic bomb and of Koreans celebrating their independence from Japan. The band subsequently became attacked by the extreme conservatives in Japan.
Okay, that happens everywhere.
And the news was picked up by the Western media.
바로 저 사건은 방탄소년단이 입었던 티셔츠가 직접적인 문제가 됐다기보단 그건 빌미였고 사실은 강제징용 배상 판결에 대한 이 보이콧을 하고 싶어하던 일본의 어떤 그 멘탈리티가 그대로.
Exactly. Because if that company was not getting sued, they won't have cared about that shirt. But it's because you're losing money and then there's a South Korean band coming, you take your frustrations out on them. Man, I don't like when people do that.
표현된 거다라고 생각을 할 수 있는데 그래서 그 5개 대륙에 그러니까 전 세계에 걸쳐서 살고 있는 특히 이제 한국 번역을 하는 한국 아미들이 주축이 돼서요. 20몇 명의 아미가 온라인으로 모여서 이 사건이 도대체 어떤 정치적 배경에서 나왔는가? 어떤 역사적 배경에서 출현한 건가? 그리고 지금 그 전 세계에서 쏟아내고 있는 기사들이 어디가 어떻게 잘못된 건가? 팩트 체크를 다 하면서 이 2차 세계대전에 대한 어떤 그 자료들을 다 모아서 백서, 화이트 페이퍼 프로젝트를 발간합니다.
영문으로 해서 저렇게 하는 거예요?
예, 영문과 한국어 동시에 이제 다 볼 수 있는데 분량이 166쪽 정도 돼요. 그러니까 거의
April 2019. During BTS's global press conference for Map of the Soul Persona, a reporter bluntly asked BTS about past plagiarism allegations.
사실 제가 그 윙스하고 피땀 눈물 언급했던 거는 그때 이제 뭐 문제가 됐던 내용 그 뭐 표절인가 그 프랑스 작가분께서 언급하셨던 그 부분을 언급해서 여쭤본 거였고요. 그거에 대해서 그냥
They all look just annoyed with that question.
불편할 수는 있겠지만 답변을 좀 듣고 싶은 부분 때문에 질문을 드렸습니다.
네, 그거에 대해서는 저희 회사에서 이제 저희 회사 법무팀에서 작가님이랑 이야기를 하고 있고요. 저희 의견, 저희 생각도 회사랑 동일하다고 생각을 하고 있습니다. 네, 그건에 대해서는 회사에서 지금 처리를 하고 있기 때문에 뭐 결과가 나오면 알겠죠. 네, 감사합니다.
Netizens later uncovered an article written by a reporter of the same name on another entertainment company's news website. April 2019. SBS Inkigayo excluded BTS's Boy With Love out of its charts for the song's first eligible week. Questions about the criteria used by the music show were raised, while SBS continued to claim the calculation period did not fit with BTS's album release time. To this, Dispatch compared BTS to another group who also released a song on the same day. That group entered the rankings and took its first win for their song that week, while BTS were left out of the rankings entirely. December 2019. JTBC reported that BTS went against their own agency and planned to file a lawsuit against Big Hit Entertainment. Big Hit pulled out receipts and released a lengthy statement on behalf of Big Hit Entertainment, BTS, and the members' families. They called the media company's journalism practices into question, stating, "We have not only the video that JTBC used for the first report, but also the CCTV video that recorded the footage of the journalist breaking into our company." December 2019. MBC is accused of abusing their power to purposely prevent other groups under Big Hit Entertainment from appearing at their year-end show, after BTS chose to appear on the US's NBC New Year's Rockin' Eve countdown in New York City instead of NBC's year-end program. According to Osen, multiple industry sources shared, ever since October, when BTS's side told NBC that BTS would not be appearing on NBC's year-end music festival, it has been difficult for singers associated with Big Hit Entertainment to appear on NBC.
So
it is already
sad.
an openly known fact in the industry. January 2020. For 29 years, the Seoul Music Awards only had one grand prize, also known as a Daesang. But in 2020, they created a second Daesang for digital music. BTS won the Daesang for physical music only, even though their stats proved that they should have also gotten the Daesang for digital music as well. BTS did not appear in person to accept the award and has only sent in video acceptance speeches since. July 2020, Naver, the Google of South Korea, reportedly invested over $80 million into another entertainment company after losing out on profits from BTS, who chose to hold an online concert through Weverse, a mobile app and web platform developed by Big Hit Entertainment. BTS earned at least $21 million in ticket revenue, according to an analyst at securities firm. He stated, "Naver lost BTS, the most popular IP of K-pop, and must have felt the need to invest in entertainment to form a stable relationship."
I kind of wish she said
Since 2017, fans have noticed that South Korean platforms such as Naver and media journalists were ignoring and downplaying BTS's achievements. Popular websites hardly posted anything about them, nor did they feature BTS on their front pages. Music critic Kim Young-dae and popular political commentator Kim Oh-jun recently discussed this issue.
그 뉴스의 크기에 비해서 국내 기사는 상대적으로 적다는 인상을 내가 항상 받았거든. BTS는 그 버금갈 정도의 현상을 지속적으로 만들었는데 거기에 비하자면 아주 수량이 좀 적다. 호들갑 떨기 그렇게 좋아하는 이 미디어들이 왜 이럴까? 궁금증이 평소에 있었거든. 연결되는 이야기예요. 기사들이 일단
BTS의 성공은 이제 어느 정도 보도가 돼요. 그러면 우리가 흔히 알고 있는 소위 대형 기획사의 아이돌이 그것보다 사실은 못 미치는 어떤 활약을 보였을 때 미디어에 보도되는 양이나 그 커버되는 범위를 보시면 확연히 차이가 납니다. 굉장히 좀 재밌는 부분이고, 이번 그래미 같은 경우는 어떻게 들어가냐면 주요 부문에서 등극에 실패했다라고 한다든지
와우.
여러 가지 이유 중에 이거 하나가 중요하다고 생각해요. 뭐냐면 BTS라는 이 현상, BTS의 미국에서의 성공, BTS의 세계적인 열풍 자체가 제도권의 시스템을 거치지 않았다는 거예요. 그래서 이 제도권을 점하고 있는 그 언론일 수도 있고 뭐 프로모터일 수도 있고 음반 회사일 수도 있죠. 이 사람들이 보기에 썩 납득이 가지 않고 유쾌하지도 않아요.
자기 힘이 입증이 안 되는 거지. 그렇게 되면.
그렇습니다.
점하고 있는 위치에서 자기 영향력이라는 게 있는데 이걸 다 거치지 않고 성공해 버렸으니까 자기 존재 이유가 없어지는 거 아니에요. 그런 맥락에서는
December.
What's breaking my heart is that I thought that it was going to be more the Western music industry that they will be talking about in terms of mistreatment. But the fact that it's South Korea themselves, the music industry just doing this to BTS, it's breaking my heart because it's the crab in the bucket mentality. Because I get in the beginning where BTS came from a small company. I get that part of not trying to push them into the limelight, because I know for a fact that in conservative countries like South Korea, not to overtalk them or to downplay them, but where you come from is very important. And a lot of cultures are like that. Where you come from is important. But the fact that BTS has done such great things, because I did the BTS contributions, music contributions, and they pointed out that they bring in revenue. They do all of this. One would think that BTS, because they have gone into a space where, correct me if I'm wrong, no K-pop group. I know there's South Korean artists that have been nominated for Grammys, and other Asian, like Japanese artists have been nominated for Grammys. But I don't think a K-pop group has been nominated for Grammys. To downplay such a historic item, you said, oh, they didn't make it. They didn't make it into the big categories. Really? How can you sit there and try to downplay your own place? Like, that is what is really upsetting me, and that's why I'm really quiet, because once again, it's a bad habit of mine that when I'm annoyed, I get very quiet. And like, even though the name tells me, I just thought it won't have been South Korea. I thought I was going to see more outsiders treated them like dirt, but it's their own place. And the fact that the journalism is atrocious. Like, and the journalism is atrocious. And then the pettiness is atrocious as well. So you're telling me, because BTS simply chose to perform at a different venue than yours, you take it out on every artist that's in Big Hit? Are we that petty? Are we really that petty? Then you have other, and then you talk about these plagiarism, and to me, it's the most idiotic thing to claim plagiarism on. Because someone has the same color hair does not mean they're plagiarizing. If you're going with a team, such as a school team, everyone's gonna technically dress the same. Now, if you want to come to me and say the beats that they have, the lyrics that they've written are plagiarized, okay, give me the evidence. But for you to just look at clothes and hair and call that plagiarism, ooh, I just want to strangle y'all sometimes. Like, I understand fans of other groups being petty, but when companies are using that to be petty, I don't think you should be a company. I just don't think you should be a company. And I don't think you should be a writer. Because I feel like journalism now have become a lot like what you see on Twitter. Everything is a pet. Every headline is simply a clickbait. Like, if your headline, you know what you're doing. Some of these headlines I saw that they put up, you know what they were doing. How are you going to break into someone's building and then say that BTS is suing their company? Like, okay, let's go.
2020. For the last few years, BTS has been the face of political discourse on the revisions of South Korea's mandatory military service, even though BTS and their company have not spoken about wanting postponement or exemptions, and have insisted that they will serve when called upon. In August 2018, all major South Korean entertainment companies held a meeting to discuss petitioning the government to revise the law to allow K-pop performers to be exempt from service, in addition to the top artists, musicians, and athletes that already qualify. Big Hit Entertainment was not among the agencies, but BTS was used as the leading example for this revision.
I actually saw this on Twitter. It's funny because I know as an outsider, and I've saw comments. As an outsider, and I hope other outsiders know this, you don't have a say in this. You don't have a say in this aspect of BTS. But what I want to say is, and if the boys are going to do the military service, again, as they said, they have never made a comment that they're not going to do it. Neither have their company. But when I saw this, it was funny to me because I think someone put up a side to side that previously these companies, the big threes, which someone graciously explained to me, are the top. If you're in the big three, that's where people think that you're gonna make it. That they have always, what's the one I'm trying to say? That they have always said that you have to do your military service. But my question is, why is it you're bringing up BTS and BTS name when they've already said they're gonna do their service? And it's funny to me that all of a sudden, that because BTS has gotten so big and people think they should be exempted, you know, pushing for other idols to be exempted with BTS as the face when you yourself don't like BTS. It's funny to me, and I like the fact that Big Head was not among them talking about it. Because Big Head and BTS has already said, we're gonna do it. Because at the end of the day, when BTS goes on to, from my understanding, a lot of idol groups don't come back from, in terms of popularity, they don't come back when they leave to go on to their military service. From my understanding, I don't think that's ever gonna happen to BTS. I feel like once they go and they put out music, it's still gonna trend. BTS is still gonna trend, and I feel like that's what they feel like. If we could push BTS to get this exemption, we could push for our idol groups. But from my understanding is, you have to do something great to get an exemption. So you pushing BTS as the face of military exemption is not going to help your case. I'm just saying.
On December 22, 2020, the Ministry of National Defense announced that a revision has been made, effective June 23, 2021, where popular culture artists can postpone their enlistment until age 30, with the requirements that the individuals must have been recommended as recipients of the Order of Cultural Merit, one of the highest national honors given to artists in South Korea. In April 2021, 26 agencies, led by the Korean Music Content Association, filed a written objection against the revision.
I read this too because they were saying that their group, it's too high of a level to use as an exemption purposes of postponement. But I'm like, if you work hard, then yeah, how can you complain about this? Like, to me, this felt like you're just grasping at straws. You're just being childish about it now, because you know for a fact your group has done nothing to get this award, so you feel that it's unfair and unjust. But let it have been the other way around. Let it have been a big company that had gotten a group with BTS accomplishments, and smaller groups complain, you would have ignored them. You would have ignored them.
The new law is both unrealistic and unfair. March 2021, BTS was nominated for the Best Duo Group Performance at the Grammys, which was announced during the online pre-show instead of the primetime ceremony, as it usually was in previous years.
Yep.
Unfortunately, they didn't take home the award.
And they were the only group that was a group. The category is Best Duo Group. As much as I am a fan of Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande, not so much a fan of Rain on Me, but I'm a fan of those two artists. How is it that an actual group did not win in that category? Ariana and Lady Gaga is not a duo. That was a collaboration. Now, if you feel like you should have, I don't even know if they have a category for collaboration. I can't remember. But even if you, let's say you don't, why not make a group for collaborations then? Rather than putting them in a duo group performance. I was upset, people. I was highly upset because you use BTS for clout, Grammys. You use them for clout. And then, when armies get on you, you then play victim. No, you know what you're doing, because and it was funny, because your views went down. As soon as BTS did not get that, their views went from 1 million. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it went to 350K. From 1 million to that, or 400K. You use BTS for clout, because if you went on Twitter, you would hear Dynamite playing. The live screening, you heard Dynamite playing. You used them for clout. You did. How did it not win Best Pop Song when Dynamite destroyed everything? It destroyed YouTube views. It destroyed... How long did Dynamite stay as number one? You use them as views, and every time Grammys have shown time and time again that the iconic Grammys means nothing now. Like, if you don't have a Grammy, please don't feel bad, because it's worthless right now, because they do all kind of nonsense. And I think today I saw that Grammys have this disbanded a secret committee or something like that. But yes, this irritated the hell out of me.
But what made fans even more upset was that the Grammys used BTS as ratings bait, teasing that BTS's performance would be quote unquote up next, but were actually placed as the second to last performance during the 3.5-hour broadcast, and only given the time to perform an abridged performance of their song. A former managing editor for the Grammy Awards website spoke out the next day about the Recording Academy and how it pushed back on featuring BTS. But BTS got the last laugh. A live stream of the band celebrating after the event has so far garnered more than 13 million views, compared to the 8.8 million viewers who tuned into the Grammys. March 2021.
I saw this.
Topps released the Garbage Pail Kids Shammy Awards illustration and cards. Unlike the other artists who were featured, BTS was depicted as being brutalized and beaten up by a Grammy trophy inside a whack-a-mole. This isn't the first time BTS has been shunned, put down, or bullied. In February 2021,
I saw this. So I actually did what's the word? I did record a reaction to the BTS MTV unplugged performances of Dynamite, Life Goes On, Grey and Blue, Fly in the Room. I did all of them, but unfortunately MTV did not want me to upload them, and when the time I figured out how to actually get past them on YouTube, I just felt like it took me 2 months, not 2 months, but a while after, basically, to figure out how to upload them, and I just didn't bother because other things came up. And I know the fact that they did Fix on You by Coldplay. Now, let me tell you something. Coldplay don't let people cover their songs. They don't usually let other artists cover their songs. They're very picky or peculiar with who they let cover their songs. So, I was excited when I heard that they gave permission to BTS. Now, for me, I did not come to listen to them with the English pronunciation, because as fluent as they are compared before, because I saw past interviews of them in English, and you know English is not their first language. So if you came to listen to pronunciations, you just be miserable. I'm sorry, you'll just be miserable. I just wanted to see how they would have produced the song to fit who BTS are. And I would honestly, this is not me being biased to BTS. I thought they did a fantastic job with a full-blown English song that they themselves didn't write. They changed the melody to fit them. I felt that, I think to me, I'm going to tell you honestly, RM stole the show for me. Simply because I never realized how beautiful his tone was. Like, I knew he had a deep tone, but I low-key want them to invest in him with singing just to hear it. He has such a beautiful deep tone. Sugar as well. So when they were blending in between Jin and Sugar and RM and Jungkook, J-Hope also, they all sounded beautiful. But again, I wasn't looking for them to pronounce the words too as an English speaker. I wasn't, because English is not their first language. I expect them to do Japanese songs better because I've learned that they are fluent in Japanese. They're not fluent in English. RM is the only fluent one in English. JK is working. JK sounded amazing when he was doing English. And all of them sound amazing in English, but you could tell that it's not their first language or that they're not fluent. So, and then we come to this German radio host that was saying, that what the world needs is BTS to get COVID, or what he was saying, they need to get a vaccine against BTS. What? Are you stupid? And then to make matters worse, he said, I'm not racist. I have a South Korean car. No, you have a Japanese car. So you just pining on that you do have a thing against Asians. Because he was then saying, if it was a white group from Germany, he would have said the same thing. No, you won't. You might have said mean things about their performances, but you will not have brought up that they were German, neither would you have brought up their race, because at the end of the day, majority of the time, if it was a German group, they would have been white. They would have been white. And then the station gave such a half-ass apology, saying that he is not racist, but he has done other racist shit in the past. And I'm like, y'all say these things because you know for a fact, because BTS is Asian, you could get away with saying this. You could get away with it, because it was annoying as hell to see that he can get away with a lot of nonsense. And that irritated me. That irritated me to the gods. That irritated me.
A German radio station host made racist remarks about BTS, comparing them to COVID-19, and voiced his hopes that there will be a vaccine against BTS soon. He openly cursed at them for covering a Coldplay song and said that BTS deserves a 20-year vacation in North Korea.
Yes, I was like, what?
Halsey,
you want
Max,
to die?
Lau, Steve Aoki, and more artists slammed the radio station's racism and xenophobia. The host and station maintains that it was just a joke and that folks are too sensitive. During Zach Sang's show, a member...
How are you sensitive when you told them that they need to go over to North Korea? I don't know if you know, but if someone from North Korea to South Korea goes over to South Korea, that's fine. But if someone from South Korea goes over to North Korea, they're not coming back. And you knew this. It's a well-known fact. You said this knowing this. You wanted them to die. That is not a joke. That is not a joke. Not if you had come out and say that you did not like their rendition and just kept it at that. No, I guarantee you, Army would not have blinked. Be like, okay, it's not your cup of tea. And I get it. Their rendition might not be everyone's cup of tea, but you took it to the extreme. And then you only did, if you felt like you didn't say anything, you won't have given out the apology. But because everyone blasted you, that's when you came up with a half-ass apology. That upset the hell out of me.
Member named Liam from a boy band called Forever in Your Mind made these comments.
I agree that they're a boy band, but at the same time, it's like I feel like it's like a different, like they belong in a different genre on their own, because I feel like there still needs to be like a European or an American boy band to be at the top, and I think BTS
What?
can just live in their own. They're BTS. They don't, you know what I mean?
No,
Okay,
but
I
they're
got
like,
it. Like I don't
their
think
fan
that they're
base
gonna.
is so crazy. It's
Dude, and it's
insane.
global.
Yeah, I'm a fan. Like, they're really good.
I like them. They're good dancers. I can't get behind it. I don't understand what they're saying.
I got it.
and
I got
just.
I don't even know what to call them, boys or girls, because I don't know what they are. Look at these people. Look at this one. I don't know which
Well,
one it is. Look at those highlights. Those chunky Tony and Guy mall salon highlights. And the contact lenses. You are an Asian man.
Okay.
You don't need to look like a girl named Ashley.
When I first heard something Korean had exploded in America, I got worried.
I don't know. I think they look very nice. Oh, that is not what you were saying during the break.
How did this become a thing in Western
I
culture
hate
where
him.
all these grown men and little girls are off to low
He always in somebody's business but his own.
A senior editor from The Economist
remember this.
said, "Please no." After BTS was announced as speakers at the 75th UN General Assembly, she quickly tried to backtrack, claiming it was a joke. This led to Stephen Pollard, a British journalist, to tweet this, and Anne Hegarty, a television
I was
personality,
not surprised.
responding
It's
with
British.
all this about a little Korean boy band that's fundamentally not important.
Because at the end of the day, if an artist does not use their platform, they are dragged through the mud. Now that BTS is known for using their platform to talk about goodness, and that's the first thing you could say. That's the first thing you can say. Someone using their platform for good instead of just being traditional. I make my money. I don't care about poor people. I don't care about the world because I'm making money. That's the first thing you're going to say. That they're a little Korean boy band. Because if it was Backstreet Boys, you wouldn't have said anything. Because it's white men. If it was NSYNC, you wouldn't have said anything. I can't even bring in One Direction because let's be honest, One Direction got their flat because Zayn was not white. And then in that group saying, oh, to me, him saying he can't get behind BTS, that was fine. But then to say you can't understand them, I guarantee you he sings Latin songs. No, I want to know if he can speak Spanish. Don't use nonsense to depict your jealousy. You're jealous. Why does there need to be a European American boy band on top of BTS? You had them. They didn't do anything. You had them. They all died down though. They all disbanded. They haven't passed. They don't ever pass the 10-year mark. There's always some issue with them. BTS is about to pass the 10 mark, and I guarantee you they're still going to be together. But your issue is because they're Asian. That's your whole issue. They're Asian. And they're not from the Western world. Because there's no need for a white boy. Because let's be honest. A lot of other groups were better than a lot of the white groups. It's only because their skin color that they were pushed in front of everyone else. Now we have a situation where the roles are reversed. There is a person of color group that is dominating. Because it happens every time where there are white artists that are who sing the same genre as black or Asians or Latinos. And the Latinos, the Asians, and the blacks sung way better than them, but they push the white on you. You see it in the music. You see it in rap, where you want to push the white rappers in front of the black. Now, there are great white rappers, but they're not better than the people that y'all try to push are not better than the black ones. You see them do it in R&B. There's a few white singers that sound amazing, but you push the mediocre over ones in front of the blacks. You see it every time. And it's irritating. It's irritating.
So when BTS was named Entertainer of the Year by Time magazine soon after, RM said, "We're not sure if we've actually earned respect, but one thing is for sure is that people feel like, okay, this is not just some kind of syndrome or phenomenon. These little boys from Korea are doing this." BTS have always been outspoken about the injustice of racial discrimination. In the summer of 2020, they used their platform and proudly announced their support for Black Lives Matter and donated $1 million to the organization. With the recent rise and visibility of atrocities against Asians, BTS released a statement on their Twitter standing in solidarity once again. These are just a few of the countless examples of mistreatment, racism, and xenophobia that BTS has been encountering around the world throughout their storied career. It will more than likely be a continued uphill battle. As artists of color who are constantly breaking records and barriers, amassing fans, and growing in popularity around the globe, hostility and jealousy will come easily from those not afforded the luxury of such a strong and dedicated fan base. As fans who are cognizant of their journey and understand that their popularity comes from their sincerity and talents, ARMYs have a tendency to be protective, and sometimes overly so. If only because of the awareness of what BTS and ARMY are up against when fighting for fair representation.
Yeah. Once again, well done video by xCeleste and all those who, I guess, she got people to give her the information. All of those who participated in this, excellent job. Once again, xCeleste, beautiful video. I'm annoyed just because I didn't realize that BTS faced so much criticism. I understand the Western parts. I didn't realize that they also faced it in Korea. And that, I think, honestly, that annoys me more than the Western, because as sad as it is to say this, it is kind of expected from the Western side. I was expecting all of this that she brought up from the Western side, because I've seen it myself. I've seen it myself, so I got the Western point of view. I didn't expect the Korean side. That I didn't expect, and that I think annoys me more, because you know for a fact that once BTS have branched off to the global impact, you should have been a little more protective of them, as they're your own people. But as I said, the crab in the bucket mentality. Once someone gets too big, you feel like it's your job to bring them down instead of just being happy for them. Okay, I get the fact that they came from a small company that is maybe not the ideals that was before, but sometimes change is necessary. You need to realize that not everything is it's not a good look to try to downplay someone that comes from a small or disadvantaged position. Grow out of that. But for you to try to demonize BTS and Big Hit for simply trying to do what's best for them, and then you tell them, oh, well, you can't, every artist that comes from Big Hit can come to this music ceremony, and then you get mad at them that they only send it in, they won't no longer perform. Like, why would I perform at a ceremony or music award show that continually disrespect me? No, I'ma just collect my trophy and leave. I love the fact that they actually go physically to get the trophy. They just send in a video message. Brilliant. But yeah, I kind of expected the Western side. Those three little white boys annoy me more than I thought they would, but they did. The other two was fine. It was that one at the end. Again, if BTS music is not your music cup of tea, that is fine. But don't say that they need to be in their own category. No. They showed you that the nonsense that the music industry tried to push with those little white boy groups, it was BS. That what BTS proved, and that's why you're mad. You ain't going nowhere. And then the nonsense that you get where you give these platforms to people that have low IQs. That's what you get. And yeah. This video really irritated me. Not xCeleste, but what was put on irritated me. Yeah. To me, I'm someone who, if you are using your platform to do good, if you are someone who's diligent in your art, I will never hate. There's a lot of artists that may not be my cup of tea, but I will never go out my way to bring them down simply because I don't like their music. There are a lot of artists I don't like. Music-wise, I don't know them personally, so I can't say I hate someone. There's a lot of artists that personally their music do nothing for me, but I don't go out my way to listen to a song, know for a fact that I'll hate it, and then go on Twitter and type out this click clackety clack clack clack. Oh, I dislike this person. They make trash music. No, I ain't got the time. I don't have the time or energy to do all of that. And I wish there was more people that will take an indifferent approach. Sometimes it's okay to be indifferent to someone. Just move on. But I know for a fact the boys use their platform for good. I love their lyrics. I love their music. Of course, there's songs that may not be my favorite from them, but I don't hate them. I enjoy their messages. I enjoy that they stand up for something, because as my dad say, if you don't stand up for anything, you fall for everything. They actually use their platform for good. And I think, honestly, even though I don't know them personally, I do think they're great boys. I'm sure they have done things in the past, but they've grown out. They have improved themselves. And I wish them the luck, and I will continue my journey into getting to know them, because I think they are a group of young men, not little boys, young men who are doing great things. So with that being said, if you enjoy my reaction, please remember to like, hit that subscribe button, join the family, join me on my journey in getting to know BTS better, and leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know, as armies, how you felt about some of the things. And I just want to point out, a lot of times people like to say army is a problem, but no, majority of the times it's you. I'm sure there'll be some rogue armies who take things a little too far, but majority of them, it's because you've done something that makes them just get at you. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next reaction. Bye.